How does the Hangout, Have Fun, Hookup rule apply if you're religious?
Well, the only different thing is the hookup part is because some people, like average Christians, are typically going to kiss. Some of them may fool around, some of them may do oral sex, but the actual meeting of the meat missile in the love tunnel typically is going to happen on your wedding night. And so you're going to take the seduction or the hookup part as far as your morals or your religion allows you to. And then obviously you consummate the relationship on your wedding night. But if you're, say you're super strict, because I had an email recently from a guy who's very religious and he started dating a girl that's not religious at all. And he's Christian, he's virgin, not going to have sex until marriage. And I think it was only like the third or fourth date, he's demanding that, she convert to Christianity and adopt his religion. And he's like, well, go learn about Christianity because I don't want to influence you. And let me know if you want to become a Christian and we'll continue dating. And so she's like, okay, well, my ex-boyfriend is a Christian, so I guess I'll talk to him and have him explain Christianity to me. And so and I was just like, well, if your religion is that important to you and if she's open to it, then you should be the one that is teaching it to her. And if she's interested in it, and as I would continue to date her. But like in this particular case, it's like after the third date, he's like basically giving her an ultimatum that she has to convert to Christianity, adopt his morals, or he didn't want to date her anymore. And it's like, you're not going to get very far with women that are not religious and you're super religious by basically after the third date demanding that they convert to your religion. That's just absurd. Maybe 6 months, a year down the road, if she's open to it and you share spiritual things, maybe you read the Bible or whatever, is she actually interested in listening to what you have to say, or is she kind of looking around like she doesn't care? You obviously want somebody that's going to share the same values that you do, but on a third date or even a first date, dropping that on her, hey, I'm this, I'm that, this is my religion dictates. It's going to be pretty hard to pull that off. A woman's only going to entertain converting to your religion if she's typically head over heels in love with you and has been dating you for many months. And so you should be the one teaching her about your religion, and obviously not an ex-boyfriend, which like this particular emailer, that was the situation.
Yeah.
So that was stupid on his part to do that.
I don't know, like when you're religious, I feel like if you're doing other stuff besides making out, I think that leads to other things, and then you're getting too close to the line of breaking your morals. Yeah. So I think if you're religious, then I would not be performing any type of oral anything, sexual pleasures.
That's just I think trouble.
It's like, and your hands shouldn't be going in places.
Put your hands in your pocket.
Like, just because that's very enticing. It's and then people, it's hard to control that.
It's called self-control. Just because you don't have as much self-control as a religious guy.
It's not
Jade.
About that, though.
I'm not religious.
It's not about that. It's what about the other person? You can't be forcing your beliefs and pushing your beliefs on the other person as well. You have to respect what's going on. Respect is a huge factor. You have to respect one another's religion, one another's beliefs. And when you guys start getting intimate, that's a whole nother.
Yeah, and I would talk to him about how you are religious and your morals and your values. Just so you can get that out there, and she's like, okay, this is where his mindset is, and y'all can be on the same page, rather than her being like, why hasn't this guy, touched me in a sexual way? Doesn't he want me? Doesn't he find me attractive? So you just need to let her know where you're at.
Yeah, it's going to be very hard to maintain a relationship for a guy. His game is going to have to be super tight. If he's like ultra religious Christian, no sex until marriage, and he's dating a girl who's slept with all of her boyfriends and maybe had a few one-night stands, and you're trying to convert her to your religion, and you're Mr. Prude and you don't want to do anything, unless she's super into you and super attracted, that's going to be really hard to pull off. She's not going to want to hang out with a dude that's basically acting like a monk for, 2-3 years until they get married.
Unless you give her permission to find it elsewhere.
Well, I don't think
Well,
that
in
would
that
be.
case, to be super religious, he's not going to want some
Due to
dude servicing
filing.
his girlfriend because he wants to
You
maintain
can't
his
speak for other
celibacy
people.
until
You
marriage.
never know. People are freaks.
Well, also, you want to make sure you pick the right woman that's for you, because if you're not going to be giving it up to her and she's already been sexually active, she might just go be doing it behind your back and saying that she'll wait.
Well, sometimes you have both
Or
of
vice
them
versa.
have been, have been married. Like I had a guy from, I actually had several guys in the last few weeks from Israel, and their various levels of into their Jewish religion, and many, actually all of the guys that I talked to, it was weird. There's a bunch of them showed up from Israel recently, and
Baruch Hashem.
they were they had both been married. In each case, the girls they were dating had been married, so none of them were virgins, but you have varying levels of adherence to their religion, and so that can be difficult. And some of the guys I talked to were just too prudish, and the girl, they're more religious than the girls were, and so they were having some difficulty. And because I remember one of them that I got and talked to basically got rejected because he was too much of Mr. Nice Guy.
Mhm.
And
That's
he
the
wasn't leading
tradition
on the
in the culture.
dates. He would show up, and he's got to do his prayers and stuff like that. And he shows up because they're like an hour or two apart, and he's got prayers he's got to do, and he didn't even know where he was going to go pray. He shows up and like basically makes her, in one of these cases, makes her his mommy. And so she's driving around so he can do his prayers and stuff like that. And after spending all afternoon doing those things, there's like really no chance for any kind of intimacy or anything. And she was into it at first, but because of his lack of leadership, she became less into it, and then eventually she didn't want to date him anymore.
So if
You still got to be the leader. You can't turn into a beta male and make her the man in the relationship, because she's going to dip. And that's like in one of the cases, that's what had happened. The guy was dating a girl. He was more religious than she was, but she was open to becoming more strict like him, but because he habitually was, and I did a video newsletter because he'd sent some questions in about this. I can't remember the name of it, but he just totally abdicated his leadership role in the courtship and basically turned her into the mommy and the leader. And she went from being really excited and really into this guy to, basically friend zoning him and saying, see you later.